Good evening, Ghana. Good evening, Africa. You're welcome to Restoration with Stacey. I say thank you. All of you lovely, lovely studio audience. Airwives, awo, awo. But I really have to acknowledge you. I really appreciate all of you. And now I feel like I have to come live at Burma Camp. Popema me dine wo. Say me simon fa me secretary, mo simon fa me ba Burma Camp dine there. Mr. Momoma me ba ko. Thank you very much for coming. If you're watching us at home, thank you very much for making the right choice for this Sunday evening. And I believe that, as always, we're really going to inspire you with the story of the guest we are having today. I'd like to acknowledge our sponsors, Ideal Milk. Thank you very much to Ideal Milk. And please, I have some special recipes I will be trying out with you with Ideal Milk. You have no idea. I could actually pick any one of you randomly from the audience to make us all something with Ideal Milk so we eat. Are you ready for that experience? Yes. Okay, who will start? Maybe Hanel or Nana Pima, you start for us, right? Yeah, we can do a lot of things with Ideal Milk. Definitely not pancake. We all know Ideal Milk and pancake. The way your eye is just, I know you're going to say pancake.
Are you reading my mind?
Come on. I'm a woman of God, I see. Yeah, so I saw. The way when I said Ideal Milk, it's not pancake you'll be making, darling, so think of something else. I also want to say a very big thank you to Yas Washing Powder and Yas Sanitary Pad, to Hoot Corn and Choco Flakes. Thank you very much to say NS Farms and Logistics. I really appreciate you. La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, where we record every day. We say thank you to La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, and of course, special ice mineral water and special drinks. And today is like a fun day for me because our guest is one woman who really understands, appreciates, and know how to give out love. She's so full of love. And I know her story would really get a lot of young women thinking when it comes to choosing a spouse. Please let's welcome Nollywood actress Dakore EGBUSON AKANDE. Twins, you know.
Yes, can you see?
Yeah, we're twins.
It's obvious, right? Not, but
we're twins.
Yeah, we're
hair.
hot. Yeah.
Mothers.
Hot moms, yes. Yeah. Wives.
We're aging.
Gracefully.
Yeah, gracefully. I love that. Take a seat, darling.
All right.
And when I was calling you, you know, sometimes I just go, oh, Dakore EGBUSON. Then sorry.
Yes.
Dakore AKANDE.
Yes. Please, so I can stay married.
Yeah, before we demote you.
I beg.
Africa, if you're not careful, we'll demote you.
No, please don't demote me.
No, we won't, darling. How have you been?
I've been awesome. I've been working my butt off. Working.
You've been working your butt off?
Yes.
So how much is left now?
That's a little bit, enough to get by. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I have. I've been working a lot.
How was family?
Family is great. It's exhausting. It's exciting. It's stressful, especially when you're balancing it with work.
Yeah.
It can be a lot sometimes. But I thank God I have a great support system. I have an awesome husband. My mom is such a great help. You know, so that really helps me, you know that, okay, I can balance and I can still go out there and be the Dakore that everyone knows.
And still come to Ghana to record.
And still come to Ghana, of course. You know I love Ghana.
Yeah.
You know, I have a special affinity for Ghana. It's like when I just touch down, I just feel at peace, you know, because it's such a, I feel at home. I mean, seriously, and I'm not saying this because it's the obvious thing to say. I say it because I mean it. You know, it's such a peaceful place.
And she doesn't even love Accra. She loves Cape Coast.
Cape Coast,
yes. You should check.
I'm
sure your roots are
I'm
somewhere
sure.
around that
You know
side.
where I'm from in Nigeria. We're from the southern part of Nigeria, where the fishermen, so we always move along the coast. So I'm sure somewhere in my lineage, we've been in Ghana, in Elmina, because I felt so peaceful there, honestly. And anytime I see anything that reminds me of where I'm from, I just feel so, like loved, and so yeah.
Before Nollywood and the glam and the fame and the cameras, who was Dakore EGBUSON?
That's an interesting question. I was just a girl who liked to sing, liked to dance. I loved to express myself. I loved to entertain people, make people happy. I could tell whenever I sang for my mom or my siblings, she would just light up. And I was like, wow, okay, I think I like this stuff. So it was always something that I naturally just gravitated towards. I used to play the recorder, I was in the choir. And so I've always just gravitated towards artsy things. Yeah.
You're in the choir?
Yeah, I was in the choir in church. I played recorder for school. I used to read music and all that. I was a very artistic child, and I was blessed to have the parents that I have, because they saw that this was something that I loved, and they encouraged me. Yes, they supported me. They paid for lessons, Dakore, that's what you love? Go ahead, do it. My parents were also very strict. Like, we never used to watch TV during the week. When you're in school, and then on the weekend, then we could watch TV. So I had a very insular family life. I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest of 5. We're 5 kids. So I'm the oldest. I have 3 brothers and a sister. So I always had to be held to a higher standard. I had a lot of responsibility placed on me from a young age. My mom made me know that, look, whatever you do, your siblings are watching. You have to be a good role model. So I had a very, strong Christian, especially, upbringing.
Where did you grow up?
In Lagos. I was born and bred in Lagos. Yes.
Not London?
Not London, America? Not America, no. Right here on African soil. I was born here. I lived in London for a while, for about 5 years. And then I lived between the UK and the US for about another 5 years. So I guess that's where all my little
okay, so
accents.
You were yeah, it's all 10 years.
Yes, 10 years on and off.
You were in exile.
Yeah. Yeah, exile that I actually needed, I think. It really helped me to open my eyes and see that, there's more going on in the world than just Nigeria.
I embrace change.
Yeah, embrace change. And I was really able to find myself. It's weird. Like, sometimes you have to be outside of your comfort zone to actually know yourself. Certain things will come up and I'll be like, wow, why did I react like that? If I was at home with mom, I probably wouldn't have reacted that way, but I'm on my own. So I know I have to, fight for myself and take care of myself. As a woman, you know how it is now. So it was really eye-opening for me, and it made me become more confident in who I was and in the gift that I had.
Because listening to you saying your parents were strict, most kids from strict upbringings end up being called in. They don't want to talk to people. Yeah. They're reserved. So what busted you out like that?
I've always been like that. And I think maybe that's why my parents were a bit strict, because they were scared, like, we have to rein this girl in now, or else by the time she grows older, we won't be able to hold her. But I think they were strict, but they didn't squash my spirit. Some parents say because they're strict, they have a way they squash the child. They don't allow the child express. But I never had that. They just gave me boundaries, clearly marked boundaries. Like, I never even knew what the neighbor's house looked like. We were forced to, be with each other, be in our space, and become friends, and become like a real family. So it made me have that sense of, I don't really have to bother what's going on in anyone else's life. It's what's really going on at home, and it helped me not pick up bad habits and little things. And if my mom noticed that I had a habit, I think she told me one time that this was I think I was primary 4, and there were some girls that already started growing breasts in my class, and I was flat-chested for a while. So I would come home, and then I'll be walking with my chest out like that. And then my mom just hit me, she would hit my chest. Like, come on, what is going on? I was like, my mommy, Tola has boobs, I don't have boobs. Like some weird little habits. And if my mom wasn't perceptive and on my case, I probably would have started walking like that. Yeah. And, so that's to tell you, my mom, she was home with us. She was a full-time housewife, but she had a catering business on the side. But so she had the time to really, you know, watch us and
bonded.
make sure that we were on the straight and narrow. So it's really helped me, and it's helping me now with my own kids. And I noticed that, like my daughter, my firstborn, she's the spitting image of her dad, but she's all me inside. She's rambunctious, she's running up and down, you know, she's just, mommy, she wants to dance, she wants to jump, she has so much energy. So I know that, okay,
That's
if this
me,
is how I
yeah.
was as a child, then I understand why my parents had to be strict. So I think it's knowing, it's balancing. You can be strict, but you can still let your child be a child, you know, and it's tough. It's tough to find that balance, but I think it's possible. I didn't turn out too bad, right?
Not at all.
What do you think?
So when did Nollywood come in?
Wow, Nollywood came in, if I tell you, I never thought of myself as a potential actor. I never had the dream to be an actor.
You just wanted to sing.
I just wanted to sing, and I also loved journalism. I loved to watch elegant women on television, you know, reading the news, like Sienna Orwell Brown. These are all women that, you know, of course, were on NTA, which is the Nigerian Television Authority in Nigeria. And they were so elegant and they spoke so eloquently. And I said, I love the way they speak. I love the way they carry themselves. You know, so that was something that drew me. And then singing, of course, because singing just comes to me naturally. It's something I love. But Nollywood was actually after my diploma. I went to University of Lagos to study a diploma in mass communication, and I majored in PR and advertising. So I wanted to be sure if it was something that I really wanted to do. So I took a year off, because a year off you have to go and work and intern and, you know. So I was working in an advertising company, which has become one of the big ones we have now in Nigeria. It's called KSERS. They're now affiliated with DDB. And there was a production company right opposite opposite my office, and the MD would walk in, and I was a client service, you know, executive, so I would greet everyone coming in. Oh, hello, sir. Who are you here to see? This, that. And he said, you speak so well. You carry yourself so well. I have a production company right across the street. Do you mind walking in and just giving us a read? Let's just see, because we have this sports program that we want a new presenter for. So I said, okay, you know, why not? You know, hey. And then I went, and you know what? I gave it my 100%.
Wow.
I just did it like my life depended on it. And the guy said, you're hired. And then I got fired from the other place. And then I went across the road.
Oh my God, so they were still seeing you every morning.
They were still seeing me every day. I mean, that was really crazy. But you know, you're 19, I think I was about 17 going on 18 at the time. So I didn't care. I wasn't thinking about it. I'm like, hey, look, I'm tired of this. Because I think I found it was a bit too strict for me. Like I wasn't able to really express myself. So I went across the road, and then I started doing the television sports presenting show, co-presenting, because I had a guy that was my co-presenter. And while I was there, EGBUSON, who is now very famous producer, she was there trying to do a sitcom for the same company. And she just saw me walk in, and I must have been talking to someone at the reception or something, and she just said, wow, you know, I like the way you speak. I like the way you, I have a character that I've written, you know, do you want to just read this script and see what you think? So I read it for her, and like I said, I did it another 100%. And she said, you got it, you know? You've got the role. And so I was like, I walked in here as a TV presenter, and then I walked out as a potential TV actor. And so we did this sitcom. It went on air for a while, maybe about 3 months, and then we didn't get funding anymore, so it had to be cut off the air. And then I felt like, no harm done. I did it, whatever. I'll move on to the next. So I went back to Unilag to continue my degree. And while I was there, she just, you know, before we finished and, you know, I was just going back home, she said, you know what, Dakore, you have great talent, and I'm going to call you for my next movie. I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. You're going to call me for a movie. Yeah, whatever. And true to her word, she called me about a year later. I'd totally forgotten.
You had totally forgotten.
I'd moved on. I was back to university. I was still doing my television program and all that. By then, I'd moved on to another program even at the time. And she called me back, and she says, Dakore, now let's do this. I'm like, okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And then we shoot the film. Well, we shoot some scenes, and then the marketer at the time was like, who is this girl? I don't know her before. I mean, she's not a face. She's not a known name. She's not a big name. So we don't want to take a chance on her. And that was how I got pulled out of the movie. And then they got someone else to do the movie. This is the second time. So at the second time, I was like, okay, well, you obviously don't have your stuff together. So when you have your stuff together, call me. Another 6 months passed, and she called me back. She said, Dakore, now we're ready. It's going to happen. Let's do it. And that was Silent Tears, my first film. Shot that one. Just as I was wrapping Silent Tears, another script she wrote for Playboy, The Playboy, I did that one. Then She Devil, I know a lot of people loved that film. And then Emotional Crack came out, and I won all the awards. And, you know, that was... So... I mean, I want people to, and I really said all these things because I want people to understand that sometimes even when something is your right or is your path, it will not always come easily. You know, I could have easily said, I'm not interested anymore, you were not serious or whatever, but I kept at it, and as I kept at it, I got better at it, and I started winning awards, and then I was like, okay, I think I could do this. You became
the name.
I became the name, and then nobody could say, oh, she can't be in our film, but because by then I had proven myself.
And you're charging big.
Yeah, well, okay, all right.
Because you became a name.
I became a name, but you know what? It doesn't always translate. Sometimes you could be a big name, but you don't pull, maybe because people don't buy the film, like the box office. If you do a good film and then people don't watch the film, then they say, oh, if you put your face on it, you're not gonna sell the film, so they don't lose money. So it doesn't necessarily mean, even in Hollywood, you have some films that you do and they spend a lot of money on the film and then it bombs, and then nobody wants to touch that actor anymore. It's like, no, this person is like,
you give it all the publicity and everybody's excited. You watch it and you're like, oh.
But you know what? You never know because it's down to the public. You're all the ones that decide whether you decide. You know, you have a lot of power, so you know you can't take it for granted that because you're in a big film, automatically it's going to do well. If they don't connect to it, they don't connect to it. So, but I've been lucky, and I really must thank my fans. Yes, really, I have. I have been blessed.
Restoration. So have you given up on singing?
I haven't given up, but I'm smart enough to know that the terrain is different. There's a lot of auto-tuning going on. There's a lot of computerization of the thing. I'm more like soulful and jazz and Afrobeat, and you know, so it's there, and I will do it, but I believe in timing. I believe in God's timing. Right now, I'm getting a lot more work with acting, and I'm just going to keep on doing what comes my way until I can take my time. And it's difficult now, even more difficult with the kids, because actually the whole music thing, I really got to express myself musically when I traveled, when I lived in London. I was performing at the Royal Festival Hall, the Queen Elizabeth Hall. These are like major stages. But at the same time, Nollywood took off. The movies that I'd shot that I'd forgotten about got released, and you know, people started calling me back. So I was pulled between the music and the acting, but I followed the acting, and I'm glad that I did. I mean, I don't regret it because I've gotten a lot of great favor that's come from that. But sometimes I have, like, you know, quiet moments where I'm like, what if I had just continued with the music? I wonder where I would have been by now. But I know that God has ordained my steps, and He, you know, gave me this talent. And if it pleases Him that I will still do my music, then so be it, and it will happen. But until then, I'll just keep on going.
Where did you meet your husband?
Oh, my husband. Oh, dear. Can you see I'm blushing already?
Yes,
I can feel that I'm blushing.
You're turning purple.
I am, Okay. I'm getting hot. Where did I meet my husband? I met him in Lagos. I met him in Nigeria. I just moved back from London. I'd actually been in LA for like 3 months just to, you know, see how, you know, the whole Hollywood machine worked and whether I wanted to stay or not. I said, just go back tonight. Just go back home. Go back home. So I went back home. And he had also just moved back from Chicago because he also wanted to start his film company and television production company. So he came back and we met at an open mic night, like a poetry reading where, you know, all the artsy bohemian types go. And I just felt a certain energy when he walked in the room. And, you know, it was a Wednesday. I remember clearly. It was a Wednesday. It was a Wednesday, and he was wearing a kaftan. And you know, most people in Nigeria on Fridays, that's where you wear your African clothes. And I'm like, who is this guy wearing a kaftan on a Wednesday? You know, he must really think he's something. And then he walked in, and then he sat smack dab across from me. And I could feel his eyes. It was a very dark room, so I couldn't really make out his features, but I could tell there was just something about the way he walked, and, you know, a lot of confidence. And I was like, oh, okay, he's got some swag, okay. And then he sat across from me, and I could just feel eyes. You know when you know somebody's looking at you? You could just feel it, just get hot. I'm like, who is this guy? But and then I came with my brother, my younger brother, Stanley, and I almost didn't go. I almost missed going because the traffic that day was legendary. You know, we in Nigeria, our traffic is serious. It was really bad that day. And I was this close to turn, and I was driving. I was like, Stanley, look, this traffic is too much. Let's go back. Let's just wait small now. Maybe another 5 minutes will clear.
You should thank your brother.
I swear I should. Stanley, you know him.
Brother,
you know, he's so calm. And he's like, sis, don't stress. We'll get there.
Yeah, that's exactly how he talks.
That's how he is. Don't stress. He's such an old soul. And so I'm happy that I did, because I wouldn't have met him. And then, of course, after the poetry reading, he came across to me, and he was very polite. You know, he was like, oh, hello, my name is Lou AKANDE. My dad is a great fan of yours. I was like, wow. Because, of course, I'd heard of his dad. And it's funny, I saw an Ovation magazine that had his family on it. And like maybe 2 days ago, I just... You
just flipped
through, like, okay. And then here I am, I meet the son of the man that was on the, in the magazine. I was like, oh my goodness, that's great. You know, and then he came, he sat down. In fact, he didn't sit down yet because I was my brother. He didn't know it was my brother. So he was worried, like, who is this dude that's with this girl?
Trying to take
I could tell that he was uncomfortable somehow. So I said, oh, no, it's my brother. And then you could just see where he just kind of like, okay.
Now let me show you.
We can do this. So yeah, it was a very dramatic meeting, and we became friends, and he wanted me to audition for a TV show because he wanted to open his own production company. So he auditioned me. Of course, I didn't get the job, but I got the dude. But we started dating, I would say maybe like 4 months after we met. You know, so we were actually friends. I was always busy.
Easy.
Yes. I think he kind of knew that, okay, this is somebody that I want to be serious with, so I don't want to rush her. And that time, you know, I wasn't in that headspace. I wanted to just, you know, stick to work and make sure that I was making the right choices with work. And of course, here we are, almost 10 years after. And 2 children,
And you said your father-in-law is a big fan.
He is.
Yeah, and the Nigerian press made it look like the family did not want you anywhere near their son.
Yes.
How traumatic, how stressful was your period of relationship with your husband?
It was very stressful. You know, even just talking about, when you just brought it back to me, I'm like, it was really hard, I must say. It was hard, I think, for me, because I had conducted myself very well all through my career so far, and I really thank God for that. But I wasn't ready for the scrutiny that came with our relationship, because I just felt, because no one had ever, you know, put me together with any guy before my husband. So they just assumed that, this one. And then, of course, he's the son of Chief Harry AKANDE. So, you know, they just needed to spin it somehow. Yeah. And it was around the time we met, I kind of started pulling back from Nollywood, not because of him, but because I wasn't happy with where the industry was going. I wasn't happy with the roles that I was getting. And I felt like I wanted things to change, but they weren't changing yet. So I was pulling myself back a little bit. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe they just thought, there must be something wrong. And I really wanted to just nurture my relationship as much as I could out of the public eye. So I think that even created more fuel for it.
And I think you guys dated.
We dated for a while. You know, dating is something you can't control it. And I didn't want to put him under pressure. And then we were already under pressure. Like the first year we started dating, they say, it's this December that they will marry.
So people were making decisions for you.
I'm telling you. So when we didn't marry that December, maybe it's next December. So, you know, and then they were putting more pressure on us. we weren't ready. We weren't yet sure whether we wanted to be married yet. I mean, we were happy. We loved each other. But, you know, you have to allow a relationship run its course. And we didn't want to get married because of what people would say. We wanted to be sure that we were ready. And in our own time, God did it, or in his time, rather, God did it, and he made it happen. But it was very hard. I mean, we were always on the cover of the magazines. They were using us to sell magazines that time, saying, oh, they've broken up. Oh, they're back together. Oh, they're, you know. It was, and this was even before social media.
So you can imagine.
So you can imagine. Can you imagine if it was now? Oh my God! I would have probably broken up.
Snapchat, Instagram.
Oh my God!
Everywhere.
No. So it was very hard. I must say it was difficult. But you know, it made us stronger. It made us get closer. And you know, I'm someone that when everyone is saying something, I go the opposite way. Yeah. So I was just like, whatever, okay.
Did you ever feel like giving up?
For sure, many times. I was like, babe, I can't do this. I can't. It's too much for me. You know, I want to just focus on my work. What's all this? You know, but love is stronger than pride. And so we just kept at it. I would be upset and he would say, babe. And then, or maybe he would get upset at all the attention and I have to calm him down. We have a real love, so I'm grateful for that. And I'm just grateful that we stuck with it and we are still sticking with it because marriage is another kettle of fish.
So when he popped the question, it wasn't in Nigeria.
No, it wasn't. It was in Chicago.
You guys had traveled to Chicago.
Yeah.
That night, were you expecting it? You know, sometimes when a guy is trying to propose, you see certain things and you're like, Charlie. So when he asks you out, you go for your best dress. You try to be on point.
On point, yeah.
Did you have that feeling that, no, this is it?
I kind of did. I won't lie. But I wasn't sure how it was going to happen. And he orchestrated it very well. What he did was he made up this fictitious party that Essence magazine was throwing. So, of course, we had to look really good. So we went out, went shopping the day before, and he was really, like, particular about it. I mean, we tried. We dressed well, okay. But this one was extra. So that was, like, the first flag. I was just like, what's going on here? But anyway, I played along. Who not like better thing? Oh, yeah, well, let's go. So we went, we decked up, everything. And then it's like, babe, why don't we just grab dinner before we go? I'm like, yeah, okay. And then he was just fidgety, you know, it was just
like
he's such a smooth dude. Like you know him now.
I know.
Cool But
that day something was
that day there was a way he was. And I was just like, I'm gonna relax. What is it, you know? And then the restaurant we went to was like out of this world. I mean, we've gone to some nice restaurants, but this one's particularly nice. Like, you know, I was like, okay. So we went, I was like, okay. I sat down, everything. So I ordered my food. We're waiting for the food to come. And all that time, it was like, normally conversation flows with us, but it was just awkward. I was just like, babe, is everything okay? I was like, everything is fine, babe. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm just, making sure the party, I have to call AJ or, make sure our boys are on time. I was like, okay, cool. I was just quiet, chilling. And then the waiter wheels in this, like, foam thing. It was, that's why I call it foam, but it was like emulsion in like fine dining, but it was hard. And I was like, babe, I didn't order this. And he's like, well, okay, just check. Well, let's see what. And then I just raised the thing, and there was a red box in it. And of course, at that moment, I knew that
it's happening.
Okay, today's the day. And then at that point. He now got down on his knee. I was like, yeah,
it's happening. No.
And then everything he said was like a blur. I couldn't hear. I could just see his mouth moving. Oh
my God.
It was really, really weird. It's like I had an out-of-body experience, I'm telling you. And then I was just stunned. And then everybody in the restaurant, you both people now, say yes. I was just like, yes, I'll marry you. And then everybody just went nuts. And then everyone wanted to see the ring. They're like, oh my God, he did such a great job. And he did do a great job. I mean, it's still blinging after how many years? So yeah, it was dramatic.
I'm just like, oh my God.
It was a very dramatic day. Yeah, I was so happy. And then afterwards, because you know my husband doesn't do things halfway. So he said, oh, okay, let's go to the party, this and that. And then it turned out to be a surprise party for me. On the rooftop of one of the swankiest restaurants and stuff. It was then all our friends were there. They're like, surprise! And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Again, on this one day. Oh God. So he really went out. He went out really. I mean, that's to tell you, he's a great guy. He is awesome.
A very humble guy.
Very humble too.
Very humble guy.
I mean, I couldn't be with someone that's not humble because I'm a humble person. I'm down to earth. And I think that's part of why I've been able to last so long in the industry, because I try to, have good relationships with people that I meet. And my mom, always put that in my head, humble yourself in the sight of the Lord and he will lift you high. So can you imagine if I married an arrogant man? How would we do it? We'll be fighting because I was like, why did you talk to the cook like that? Or why did you talk to him like that? Like, why? You don't have to. I don't believe that because you're of any kind of, status or whatever, you should treat people like they're less than. We are all human beings at the end of the day. We are all equal, so there's just no way I could have married somebody who wasn't humble.
I've known you guys for 9 years.
Yeah.
And the first day I met your husband, I was like, oh, he's so cool.
Yeah, he's a cool
He
guy.
would get the door for you. He would pull at seats for you.
Yes.
A proper gentleman.
Proper gentleman. Yeah.
Where most men don't do that. Seriously, most men.
Proper gentleman.
Yeah.
I mean,
the kind of when we're growing up, you remember courtesy for boys and girls.
Don't put me inside trouble.
We're not in trouble.
Okay.
I know it's hitting a lot of
it's
men.
It's hitting a lot of men, yes. I can feel it already.
Yeah, because growing up, courtesy for boys and girls, ladies are not supposed to do that, men are supposed to do that.
Yeah.
He would, if you're working with them, he would get the door and wait for the ladies to get through and close it.
And not just me.
Anybody.
He does it. As far as
he actually got a door for me yesterday.
Yes. And he does it like second nature. He doesn't think about it. He just does it. But I don't know. He grew up in the States. He grew up abroad. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. I don't know. But he has such a great relationship with his mom and his sisters. He was, so I don't know. Maybe, so he has that's why he cares about women. Side. Yeah, he has like for women.
Because for who your husband is, we all know who your husband is.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think he would do some of the things he does. He would sit and just have a chat. If he's here, I'm sure we'd have 2 hours of the show.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We'd have 2 hours of the show. That is how selfless. So how do you handle people? How do you handle the press? I mean, after everything had happened. And your wedding was like detailed.
It was.
Strictly by invitation.
Yep.
With all that niceness, how were you able to say, okay, we're not calling this person, we're not calling that person? Didn't you offend anybody?
Oh, we offended a lot of people. But that's life. You're going to always offend people, whether you mean to or not.
Restoration. Believe in Jesus Christ?
Oh, yeah, I sure do.
Are you Christian?
I am a Christian, 100%.
What has been some of the most amazing moments you think was initiated by God in your life?
Wow, there's so many. There are too many to mention.
Share some.
Oh, God.
Maybe share 3.
3? Oh, dear. Okay. Okay, I'd say one I've never really said before. When I was 5 years old, my dad was watching television. It was actually sports. It was a football match. Men and their football. And I was sleeping. I woke up from sleep, sleep. I was like, oh, Daddy, I walked into the living room. And just as I walked in, Nigeria scored a goal. Hey! My dad was so happy. He just carried me up. Dax, baby, it's a goal! And then the ceiling fan. So this scar that I have here, it's not for beauty. It's not for, fashion. I nearly lost my eye. So can you imagine your dad? I mean, I can't even...
Overly excited over football.
God saved me because I would have been blind for sure. It was like 1 inch less, I would have lost my eye. So then I was 5 years old. I remember that vividly. I feel like crying. So if I was ever in any doubt that there was God or that there was a higher power looking out for me, from that moment I knew, I was aware of the fact that, okay, somebody is looking out for me somewhere. So that was one. I'd say the second one was probably when my parents split. Things were really difficult, and I was just going through a lot at the time, being the firstborn, having to make sure everybody was okay. And for a long time I took it personally because I felt that as a firstborn I had to try and keep my parents together. And then one day I prayed and I was like, Lord, what's going on? My family's kind of, not, what's going on, And I had a lot of guilt about it. I felt like I didn't do enough. Well. And then, I just heard this voice. It was almost as loud as day. And he said, you know what? It's not your fault. Just go on. Don't worry. I'm here for you. And shortly after that was when I got admission into Unilag because I was trying to get into school and it was difficult. I said, how am I going to do it? How is it going to happen? I was so stressed because of my parents splitting up. I mean, 17 years of marriage is not easy, So that was the second one. And then, every day, God just shows me himself, Every day I see something new. Even just coming on this trip, we were supposed to, in fact, no. Before coming on this trip with my daughters and stuff, I just felt this urge to pray. And I said, Lord, what is this? It's like, just pray over your kids, just pray over your kids. And then I had an inkling that my nanny was messing up somewhere with my daughter, my firstborn. And the Holy Spirit just said, that was the next day, go downstairs. Tiptoe, don't let anybody know. So I, quieted the door, I just tiptoed. And then I saw my nanny slap my daughter and knock her on her head. I saw this. This is not somebody told me. You. I said, okay. Then I wanted to, your initial instinct as a mom is like reflex. To just attack. But the Holy Spirit was like, just be calm. Let her go. Let her go to school. Let her take her to school. My daughter's school is very close to the house. So I just retreated, went back upstairs, let the nanny take her. And I came back. If I didn't see that, and if the Holy Spirit didn't quicken me, or maybe I didn't listen, how sometimes, when the Holy Spirit talks to you, but it's not all the time because we're human beings, we use our own logic, our own rationale. And that's how I was able to see that she was, trying to hurt my child. And I was able to, of course, I knocked her, I slapped her, I gave her a few knocks and kicks. Because you just have to do something.
So when you asked her,
I asked her, and she said, Madam, I didn't touch her. I didn't touch her. I swear to God. I say, if you swear to, I will kill you. Shut up. I saw you. And then when she saw my eyes, she knew that I saw her. I said, you slapped her and then you knocked her.
They kill the ego of the child.
Yes. And so those are the little instances that I can remember right now because you just put me on the spot. I didn't, if I was prepared. But honestly, I would say that, and those are all pivotal times, different times in my life. I mean, is it when I was in the labor room for the first time and I'm like, God, what is this? What is all this? He said, my daughter, be still. Be still. Don't worry. And truly, don't worry. And the child came out, no wahala, no stress, So
you were good to eat your eba the next day.
No, I was good. I was actually good. I had challenges even afterwards. But I just always know that, greater is he that is in me than they that are in the world, So even in my industry, it's not easy, but I just know that, look, God put this gift in me, so he's going to take care of me. And God has been taking care of me since I came back to work. Since I came back to work, some people, they're in the industry, you never hear about them again. You just don't hear.
Fade out.
They fade out. That could have happened to me because I was gone for 5 years. I had my baby, I had my number one baby, moved to Chicago, we're there. Then had the second one when I started coming back to work again. I say, hey, what kind of wahala is this? I'm not ready for this, but I'm so happy when I see her now. I'm like, oh my God, you know, and now I have 2 kids. I'm back to work. I'm the brand ambassador for Pampers, Nigeria. I'm the brand ambassador for Danone, for Cow and Gate. I'm the new ambassador for ActionAid, you know, in Nigeria. So a lot of great things are happening, and I know it's because I listened, you know, and I waited, and it was hard because, of course, I could see my own colleagues doing really well, and I was like, oh, what's going on with me? What's going on? You know, but God has been faithful, so it just makes me know that, Dakore, you're on the right track.
There is God. Oh.
There is God. Oh, there is God.
So with your work with ActionAid,
yes,
and the kids and movies, how do you combine all of that?
A lot of planning. I can plan for Africa. Oh my God, I have to plan things in advance. And I noticed that sometimes I was getting carried away with work, and then maybe certain things will be, you know, suffering at home. So I just had to say, okay, you know what? From here to here, I can work. From here to here is home. You know, so I try and compartmentalize things a lot. But I have to be who I am, because all the time when I was at home taking care of the kids, and which I still do, by the way, there was this aspect of me that was kind of suffering because I wasn't able to be creative. I wasn't on set anymore. So I was a bit miserable. There was a part of me that wasn't happy. I was happy to be a mom and a wife, but I knew that there was so much more that I wanted to do. So when I knew that, okay, what are the things that you have to do to make sure you can compete? Because 5 years have passed, so you have to come back. And so I made sure I worked out a lot. You know, I lost the baby weight, and that helped me mentally. You know, just going to the gym every day, you know, it helped me. And then by the time I came, and then I went to acting school again in Chicago. I went for 6 months, you know, just to brush myself up. Yeah, you know, just to make sure that, okay, so that if I go back, I still have that confidence. Because, you know, when you've not been doing something for a while, you know, you kind of get rusty. So I did the first film, the second film. So now I've done about 7 films since I've been back. Lunchtime Hero comes out next month. It's going to be in cinemas everywhere. I shot another movie called 50 with B. Bandele, the director of Half of a Yellow Sun. And that's going to be huge, God willing. That comes out in this, amen. That comes out in December. So, you know, I knew that in order to be where I wanted, I had to do certain things, and I would have to make certain sacrifices. So I spoke to my husband. I said, babe, look, I love you. I love the family, but I really need to do something for me, for Dakore. And my fans too, they didn't let me rest. They would send me messages on my website.
Facebook,
like, we miss
Instagram.
You. We miss seeing you. We need you. We love you. We're rooting for you. You know, so all those things were just, you know, and
ginger you.
It just gingered me, and I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I still have so much to give, so much, you know, to entertain, to, you know, and to make my fame count for something. It's been great. It's been really great, and I'm happy to come back here and to be able to share all these things with you. You know, because I could have just been one of those. They say, "Oh, what happened to her? Oh, she got married and had kids, and that was the end of it." But I also want to inspire people and let them know that it's not the end. It's great to have a family, but it shouldn't be the end of your life. You have your own dreams and your own goals and your own aspirations, and it may seem crazy or stupid to anybody else, but it means a lot to you, and you can do it. It's tough, but you can do it if you put your mind to it.
You know, now I'm feeling very lucky because ours ends here, but it will continue when we get out of the studio.
For sure.
That's a very big thank you to you for flying all the way.
Thank you. You know I love you.
Interview. You know I love you,
and I will always support anything you do. And you're doing such a great job. Please put it together for our great host here. She's such a beautiful lady, not just in face and body, but in spirit, and that's really what shines through. I'm your fan too.
Oh, I'm blushing. I'm turning red. Give me a fan. I'll fan you now. So before we let go of you, we have something little to give you to take back to Nigeria.
Really? I love gifts.
Yeah, I know you love gifts. Bridget, can you help me?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Don't blush and follow. This is coming from Wonya, Africa.
Okay.
They are always responsible for the beautiful accessories you see me wear on this show. Beautiful. They have a little present here for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Can I open it?
Yes, you can open it.
Can I show everybody?
Oh.
Oh my God. This is gorgeous.
Love
And I love coral. I actually love coral. Look at that.
And it blends with your
Wear
dress.
it now. Look at that. Thank you so much. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you
Thank
too.
you.
And there is something you love about Ghana. Our wax print.
I love your wax print.
This is GTP new style.
Oh.
That is what you see me wear on the show every time. She watches us in Nigeria. and
Thank
she's
you. I
always
do.
giving
She sends me the
feedback.
links and everything, and I always just stop what I'm doing. And
So you need
so
to
much.
pay excess at the airport, I'm sure. This is from our sponsor, Yas Washing Powder,
Gosh.
Push Cornflakes, and Yas Toothpaste.
Oh wow! Thank
Yes.
you. This is a new one for the kids.
Yes.
Choco flakes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's Push Choco Flakes, and I'm sure you'll be calling me like every month.
Can I have my
Babes,
Choco
please,
Flakes?
I need like cartons
Send
of
me
Choco
my
Flakes.
Oh, thank you so much.
Just a very big thank you to you for coming.
Wow, you guys are going to make
Love
me
you
cry.
so much. Thank you. Let me get my arm, darling. So we're saying a very big thank you to all of our sponsors: La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Special Ice Mineral Water and Special Drinks, Yas Washing Powder, and Yas Sanitary Pad, to Hooch Corn and Choco Flakes. Thank you so much. Sir NS Farms and Logistics, we really appreciate you. And of course, Ideal Milk. Thank you very much. And I'm actually going to get you to make me an ideal milk recipe. What can you do with ideal milk?
Ideal milk. I can make a really nice smoothie.
Is it?
Yes.
Are you going to make that for me before you leave?
Sure. Just get me all the
promise.
ingredients.
I will.
And
I
it's
will.
not crazy stuff. It's just spinach and banana. And then just put a little milk, you know, at least. And that can be like breakfast.
Is it?
Yeah, you get all the nutrients.
So
in.
Dakore just gave us a new recipe for
Yeah.
ideal milk.
Yes.
Okay, she's going to make it before she leaves.
Sure.
So thank you very much for watching us at home. I love you all, our viewers all over Ghana. Thank you. Keep those messages coming in Instagram, Facebook, our WhatsApp numbers. We get all your messages and we really appreciate all of you. Lovely studio audience. Mwah.
Mwah.
Love you to the max. We'll see you same time next week. Always do remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. See you next week.
Welcome to the end of the tunnel. I see a bright light shining through, and it's just for you. There is hope for the tired and weary. Open your eyes and you will see the perfect friend in me. This is where to share it all, a common place for one and all. Let's hold each other's hands and stand tall. Set yourself free and tell